The letter wasn't supposed to exist. A classified file, sealed for over a decade, buried deep in a forgotten vault at Quantico. No title, no ceremony, just a single call sign stamped across the cover in fading black ink. Iron Wolf. For years, no one knew who it belonged to until the day it was opened. And when they did, everything changed. Before we begin, if you believe that respect should be earned, not mocked, hit that subscribe button and join us. Because when the name Iron Wolf is spoken, the air goes still, and nothing will ever be the same again. The morning air at Fort Concincaid was sharp and cold, heavy with expectation. This was where future leaders of the Marine Corps were forged, a place where discipline wasn't requested, it was demanded. And yet, at the far edge of the courtyard, Ava Mercer stood in silence. Late 20s, quiet, composed. A recent transfer from the medic division. Her uniform was spotless, her boots polished to mirror perfection, her stance precise. But no amount of discipline could hide the whispers swirling around her. Some cadets smirked as they passed. Others didn't even bother lowering their voices. Why is she even here? Probably begged her way in? Medics don't belong in leadership training. Ava stood motionless, hands clasped behind her back, eyes forward. Every laugh, every side glance, every cutting word, she heard them all. But she didn't move. She didn't flinch. Because Ava Mercer had learned long ago that silence could be more powerful than words. By midday, the courtyard mockery had turned into open entertainment. Enter Lieutenant Chase Harlan, 26 years old, arrogant, polished, and convinced that leadership was owed to him, not earned. He walked with the swagger of someone who believed the Corps revolved around him. He stopped just short of Ava, smirking. "Transfer, huh?" he said loudly, just enough to draw listeners. "Sergeant Mercer," she corrected evenly. "Not here, you're not," Harlan shot back. "Here, you're just another cadet trying to keep up." The crowd chuckled. Someone muttered, "Medic's pretending to play soldier." Another added, "She'll tap out in a week." But Ava didn't respond. Her silence wasn't weakness. It was patience. That night, in the locker room, the jokes continued. Harlan replayed the exchange, mocking her tone, exaggerating her correction. "Sergeant Mercer," he said in a high-pitched voice, drawing laughter. As the noise filled the room, Ava sat quietly at the far end, unlacing her boots, movements deliberate and calm. She ignored the noise. But one cadet noticed something the others didn't. Corporal Laia Reyes, sharp-eyed and observant, saw Ava carefully fold her uniform into her locker. A small, faded patch slipped free and landed on the floor. She picked it up before anyone else could. 3 words stitched in black thread. Iron Wolf Unit. Her breath caught. She'd heard whispers of that name before. Late-night briefings, rumors buried deep. She handed it back quietly. Ava accepted it without a word, tucked it away, and left. Reyes said nothing. But the seed of curiosity had been planted. The whisper turns to rumor. 2 weeks passed. The jokes sharpened. Harlan made sure of it. During a morning combat exercise, he raised his voice across the field. "Careful out there, Mercer. Wouldn't want you bruising those medic hands." The cadets roared with laughter. Ava ignored it as she always did. But Laia noticed something. Ava wasn't looking at Harlan. She was scanning the ridgeline, eyes narrowing at a camera mounted high on a post. It had flickered earlier, just 1.7 seconds. Almost no one would notice. But Ava did. That night, she jotted something into a battered notebook. Coordinates, timestamps, patterns. Quiet details no one else cared about. And when the cadets gathered for a strategy briefing, something happened that none of them could explain. The projector froze. The instructor frowned. A system override blinked across the console. Restricted access. Authorization code. Wolf 01. The room went still. On Ava's desk, her tablet vibrated once. She glanced down. 4 words glowed across the screen. Iron Wolf. Stand by. Her breath caught. Laia Reyes, seated nearby, saw the flash of text. She didn't understand it fully, but she knew one thing. Ava Mercer was not who they thought she was. The arrival of Colonel Hale. The next morning, tension gripped the base. Conversations hushed. Jokes faded. Something had shifted. Then the double doors opened. Colonel Marcus Hale walked in. Late 40s, broad-shouldered, decorated. The kind of presence that silences a room without a word. He scanned the rows until his eyes locked on Ava Mercer. For the first time since she arrived, Ava shifted not out of fear, but recognition. His boots echoed on the polished floor as he spoke, calm but thunderous. Iron Wolf. Stand by. The cadets froze. Whispers rippled. Harlan blinked in confusion. Sergeant Ava Mercer, front and center. Ava rose, her steps precise, steady, unhurried. She stood before him. Good to see you again, Iron Wolf, Hale said. Gasps echoed. Cadets exchanged bewildered looks. Harlan's smirk faltered for the first time. Hale turned to the room. You think you know who you're training with? He asked. You don't. 7 years ago, during Dawson Ridge, 12 Marines were trapped. Extraction failed. The mission was declared lost. Until one operator, under the call sign Iron Wolf, led a 4-person unit into enemy territory. No air support, no backup, no chance of survival. 47 minutes later, every Marine walked out alive. She commanded that team. She didn't just earn the call sign, she built it. The room fell silent. Hale's voice lowered with reverence. And she saved my life. Gasps rippled through the hall. Laia's eyes widened. Even Harlan's arrogance drained away. Hale's tone sharpened. You mocked her. You called her weak, but you never asked who she was. That's the point. You didn't ask. Then firmly, from this moment forward, you will address her by her proper designation. Sergeant Ava Mercer. Iron Wolf Unit 1 cadet stood at attention, saluting. Then another. Within seconds, the entire hall rose in unison. For the first time, Ava Mercer stood before them, not as an outsider, but as Iron Wolf. But Colonel Hale wasn't finished. He leaned close to Ava, voice low. They know now. But this isn't about them. Someone's watching this base, someone who shouldn't be. Ava's jaw tightened. Then it starts again, she whispered. That night, alarms ripped through the base. Breach detected. West perimeter. Sirens wailed, orders shouted, but a young officer's voice broke the chaos. Sir, the breach isn't from outside. It's inside. The room went cold. Hale's eyes snapped to Ava. South wing. Take Reyes, move. The intruder boots thundered across corridors as Ava and Laia sprinted into the dimly lit halls. Emergency lights flickered. A vent panel hung loose. They've been here, Ava muttered. A shadow shifted. A masked figure emerged, armed with suppressed gear not issued to Marines. He lunged. Shots cracked, echoing down the corridor. The intruder bolted. Ava gave chase, heart steady, movements precise. They tore through twisting halls until the figure vanished into maintenance tunnels. There, Ava found it. A device planted against the main security panel. Blinking silently. Not foreign tech, not sabotage. U.S. military issue. Someone inside had authorized the breach. Tested, not broken by dawn, the alarms fell silent. The intruders were gone. No casualties, no stolen equipment, just unanswered questions. This wasn't an attack, Ava said, placing the device on the table. They were testing us. Hale's face darkened. No, they were testing you. Across the room, Harlan stepped forward, humbled at last. I didn't know. Ava's gaze was calm, unreadable. Now you do. Iron Wolf returns. As the sun broke through storm clouds, Ava stood beneath the awning, staring into the horizon. The call sign they tried to bury had risen again. Iron Wolf was back, and someone out there wanted to know if she had forgotten who she was. They were wrong, because Ava Mercer wasn't here to fit in. She wasn't here to impress anyone. She was here to lead. And this time, the whole base knew exactly who she was. Ava Mercer's story is a reminder that true strength isn't loud or boastful. It's quiet, steady, and unshakable. It's the courage to stand tall when the world doubts you, and the wisdom to act when no one else sees the danger coming. If you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, subscribe to Truth Untwists for more untold stories of courage, resilience, and strategy. And if this story inspired you, share it with someone who believes ordinary people can rise to extraordinary moments. Because sometimes, the name they mock in whispers becomes the name they salute in silence.